You know, in Pakistan's incredibly competitive medical field, getting a spot in a public university can feel, well, next to impossible. But what if a private college could step in, not just to fill that gap, but to actually set a new standard? Well, that's pretty much the story of Pak International Medical College, or PIMC. So today, we're going to dive deep into how this institution in Peshawar went from being a necessary solution to a truly globally recognized name.
Okay, so every institution has a motto, right? But this one really tells you everything you need to know to produce doctors with high professional and ethical standards. Look, in a field where the stakes are literally life and death, that's not just some nice-sounding phrase. It's a promise to create doctors who aren't just brilliant with a scalpel, but who you can fundamentally trust.
So here's the big question, isn't it? How on earth did a private college in a city like Peshawar grow into such a major force in the country's medical scene? That's what we're tackling today. We're going to break down the specific problem it was designed to solve, the super modern training methods it uses, and how its influence is now being felt way, way beyond its own borders.
All right, so let's rewind and go right back to the beginning. PMC wasn't just founded to be another building with classrooms. No, it was created as a direct response to a real crisis that was brewing in medical education.
Just picture it for a second. You've got thousands of super talented, aspiring young doctors, but the public universities are completely full. There just weren't enough seats to go around. So a group of medical professionals saw this massive bottleneck and decided, you know what? We need to build a bridge. And that bridge became PIMC, born out of necessity to offer a top-quality, private sector option.
And when you look at this timeline, you can see just how fast they moved. It was founded in the late 2000s, and boom, by 2012, it gets official recognition from the Pakistan Medical and Dental Council, the PMDC. But they didn't just stop there. By the 2020s, they were already modernizing their entire curriculum to match the best practices around the world, a move we're going to talk more about in just a sec.
So, what does it actually take to train a doctor at PIMC? Well, it really boils down to two key pillars: a really forward-thinking curriculum in the classroom and intense, hands-on experience out in the real world, in the clinic.
100. That's the magic number. That's how many students PIMS lets into its main Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, or MBBS program each year. And that's not a random number, by the way. It's totally intentional. By keeping the class size small and selective, they're really going for quality over quantity, making sure every single student gets the attention they need.
Okay, now this is where PIMC's teaching method is a real game changer. They use something called a modular integrated curriculum. So think of it this way. Instead of learning about anatomy in one class, then physiology in another, and so on, students learn about one single body system, say the respiratory system, from all those different angles at the same time. It helps them think like a doctor from day one, connecting the dots between books and a real patient.
A medical school is only as good as its hospitals, right? And PIMMS has a serious one-two punch. First up, you've got the Faji Foundation Hospital, a well-established place with 200 beds. And then you have the main teaching hospital, PIMS, a huge, modern facility with over 360 beds. This is where all that classroom theory gets put to the ultimate test. And this chart really puts that clinical experience into perspective. That first bar shows the beds at their main teaching hospital. But look at the second one. When you include all their affiliated hospitals, you're talking about a total of over 550 beds. So what does that mean for a student? Well, it means you're getting exposed to a massive range of patients and medical cases. It's a learning environment that's about as real as it gets.
Okay, so we've covered the demanding curriculum, but what about the campus itself? I mean, where does all this learning actually happen? Let's take a quick look inside the PIMC campus and the little world they've built for their students.
The campus is really designed to be this self-contained universe for medical training. You've got a digital library, separate secure housing for men and women, the whole 9 yards. But for me, the real highlight has to be the skill lab. This is this high-tech space where students can practice really complex procedures on these advanced mannequins, building up that muscle memory and confidence long before they ever see a real patient.
You know, sometimes it's the little details that tell you the most about a place, and that includes the dress code. The uniform at PMIC is pretty simple, very professional. But it's more than just clothes, right? It's like a daily symbol of the professional identity they're trying to build in these students from the second they walk through the door.
So you take those 100 students they admit each year, multiply that by the 5 years in the program, and you get a student body of about 500 people. And that size is kind of the sweet spot. It's big enough to have a diverse community, but it's small enough that you're not just another face in the crowd. It creates this great environment where older students can actually help out the new ones, creating this built-in support system for what is a very tough journey.
So what is all of this? The curriculum, the campus, the hospitals, what does it all add up to? Let's take a look at PIMC's legacy and how its impact now stretches far, far beyond the campus walls in Peshawar.
All of this hard work and infrastructure builds towards one crucial thing: credibility. Sure, PMIC's degrees are backed by Khyber Medical University and the Pakistan Medical Commission, but the ones that are really a huge deal are the recognitions from the World Health Organization and especially its listing in the World Directory of Medical Schools. And as you'll see, these aren't just for show. They're absolutely essential for a global career.
So why does that WDMS listing matter so much? Because it is the golden ticket for any graduate who wants to practice medicine outside of Pakistan. That recognition is what allows PIMCians, as they call themselves, to go and take the big licensing exams like the USMLE in the United States or the PLAB in the UK. It basically turns their local degree into a global passport.
And this quote from the dean just ties it all together so perfectly. Remember that motto from the very beginning? This brings it all full circle. It's not enough to just have the knowledge and the skills. The real goal here is to produce doctors who have this deep sense of social responsibility, ready to serve their communities no matter where in the world they end up.
And that brings us right back to where we started. PIMC was created to solve a local problem, not enough university seats. But by focusing on global standards from the get-go, it ended up creating graduates for the entire world. What their story really shows us is that a private institution can become an absolute powerhouse for medical talent. So the real question now is, could this model be the blueprint for the future of medical education, not just in Pakistan, but all across the developing world?